I give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which ruled great millstone well, which taught us the truth, taught Israel the truth, taught me the truth. Yahweh Shai is the truth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa Abba Babal. So this is from the Fight Source. It says Adrian Broner is officially making headlines for all the wrong financial reasons once again. The former boxing champion recently had viewers extremely worried that he is completely going broke. He shockingly revealed his live bank account on camera and showed that he literally has zero funds available to spend. To make matters worse, he even showed a massive pending charge of nearly $48,000. Fans are absolutely confused because he previously claimed he was pulling in over $500,000 every single month. All right, which you're in a trick bag, all right? We're in captivity under the so-called white man, the red devil the Bible speaks of. The Israelites are enslaved under the devil. The Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. So you see these athletes and performers, and they claim to have all this money, but it comes out that they're broke. Look at Kodak Black, right? He talked about his jewelry and his home being on loan, and that his money that you saw in the videos and pictures was prop money. It wasn't real money. All right. And even Michael Jackson, which they called him the king of pop, he died broke. But after he died, his assets were over billions of dollars. All right. This is why you see these old athletes in the boxing ring like Mayweather and Pacquiao. And you see these artists like Jay-Z and Kanye West that are up in age and they're still doing concerts, tours, because they're broke. All right. And the Lord told us not to strive to be rich in this wicked society. All right. So I Googled it. Michael Jackson died broke. When Michael Jackson died on June 25th, 2009, he was deeply in debt by more than $500 million, facing multiple lawsuits and struggling with a severe lack of liquid cash, which the small hat, the counterfeits that are in the Holy Land, they control these industries and they don't give you cash. Look at Kanye West. He went from a billionaire to broke in one day. All right. This is why they don't have cash. You might see him walking around with some prop money like Mayweather. All right. But they're not walking around with actual cash. All right. Because this is how they control the artist or the performer. All right. It says, however, he was asset rich, owning highly valuable catalog rights that later allowed his estate to completely clear his debts and earn billions. He died broke, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, but after his death, his assets were worth billions because it's a setup. It's rigged. We're in captivity under the heathen, starting with the wicked, the so-called white race. They're the devil the Bible speaks of. And you're never supposed to trust your enemies. And really, we're not to make any deals with these devils. All right. And that's what they do to make this money, supposedly, right? Because they really don't have no money. Even that rapper 6ix9ine said that. He made like $10 million and it all went back to them that handled his business, that controlled him, which were the small hats. All right. But on top of it, you got to defile the temple, which they sodomize you. They make you eat the caca off the spoon. They do all kinds of horrible shit to you, and then you die broke. All right, so it's better off not even fucking with trying to get rich, all right, but learn the truth. It says in Psalm 23, verse 4, labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, they fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So these Jake that sell their ass to be rich, they die broke. All right. Now I'm going to jump down. It says in verse 23, buy the truth and sell it not, all wisdom and instruction and understanding. See, so that's what you should really be looking to, is the truth. Yahweh Shai, what you find the speakings of Yahweh Shai in the Holy Scriptures. The Holy Scriptures is the word of Yahweh, and it speaks of Yahweh Shai. The Holy Spirit, which is with the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, we testify of Yahweh Ba'Hasham, Yahweh Shai. We glorify Yahweh Ba'Hasham, Yahweh Shai. We're not worried about these vain riches, which are nothing really. Remember, it's fiat currency. All right, so the US dollar is a fiat currency. It says the definition of fiat, a fiat is an official order, decree, or a command given by someone in power. The word comes from the Latin and means let it be done. In economics, it refers to fiat money, which is government issued currency not backed by physical commodity like gold. So it's worth nothing. It's really a faith-based system. Money, the US dollar, is nothing. And it's really stupid because you have the word dollar, which means a weight, and the dollar, the US dollar, compared to the US $100 bill, weigh the same. When dollar means weight, so the US $100 bill should outweigh the $1 bill. You see? But this is how stupid this generation is, that they sell their ass to get a fiat currency, which is nothing. And then it vanishes because they put you in lawsuits. They put you in debt. See, we're still slaves, subject to debt, subject to payment. Though we don't have yokes of iron on our neck, you have yokes of paper, which this is why a house is known as a mortgage, because you're going to die before you pay off that house. All right. See, and I put fiat currency is void of true value. It says, while fiat currency like the US dollar has no physical or intrinsic value or worth, its true value comes from collective trust and government backing. So the people trust in it, but really there's no value in it. It functions as a medium of exchange because a society collectively agrees to accept it for goods and services. This is why they're able to devalue it. All right. And eventually the dollar is going to be completely void because the government is going to lead you worldwide into taking an implantable microchip, the mark of the beast. All right. But the elect will not be deceived. Now that word intrinsic, intrinsic means belonging naturally to the essential nature of a thing. All right, so money doesn't, fiat currency, the dollar bill, has no natural value. You can't even wipe your ass with it. You can't eat it, right? It's really worthless. But they have the world under a spell, witchcraft, and the world believes collectively that there's value in the fiat currency, the US dollar. But once again, this is why athletes, artists that are supposed to be rich has no money all of a sudden because there is no value in the fiat currency. And when they go digital, they'll really be able to fuck you, because then they'll just push a button, give a command, and your fucking money will go from whatever it is to nothing. Like Kanye West. Alright, so in October 2022, Kanye West, also known as Ye, publicly stated on Instagram that he lost $2 billion in one day, and which should be literally impossible, all right, but he literally went broke in one day. And it was because he talked about the small hats, the counterfeits that are in the Holy Land. He said that they control society, and they didn't like that statement, so they literally deleted his accounts, broke the contracts that they had with him pertaining to advertisements like Adidas. It says, after Adidas and other major corporate partners, which are owned by the small hats, the counterfeits that are in the Holy Land, terminated their lucrative business deals with him following a series of anti-Semitic, which there's nobody in the Bible known as Semitic. It's Shamitic, which the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we come out of Sham. All right? And the Edomite also, the Edomite being the so-called white race, but the blessing went to the Israelite. The Edomite is rejected. That's why they have no faith, and they only have the power of money, which they deceive the world. All right? It says, following a series of anti-Semitic remarks, all right, which now I saw a thing with Marco Rubio talking about Nero 47 voiding visas if you say anything so-called anti-Semitic, showing you that these counterfeits, the tiny tops, they rule the world. They're the wicked that rule the world. The so-called white man is the red devil the Bible speaks of. All right, and there's so much evidence against him, and this is why the devil is going to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. All right, but it's going to lead to their destruction. It tells you that in Isaiah 13. It says in verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. The Russians are the Medes today, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, because the Edomite, starting with the small hats in America, they're going digital. They're leading the world into a digital currency called cryptocurrency. And it's not crypto being that you could hide your money in it. It's that they have a hidden agenda for this cryptocurrency. It's to lead you into an implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, and make it mandatory for buying and selling worldwide. And they owe Russia and these other nations tons of money, and they don't want to pay it. Remember, America is in trillions of dollars of debt. So they're trying to go from debt to asset with the cryptocurrency. All right, and Russia ain't going to have it. Remember, they purchase enriched uranium from Russia. So America is going to eat nuclear missiles, which is literally enriched uranium, and it's going to be Russia that supplies it to all these different nations, the allies and enemies of America, and they're going to burn this great whore with nuclear fire according to biblical prophecy. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, which they're going to destroy America with nuclear fire. 200 million nuclear warheads is going to turn America into a nuclear lake of fire. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, which America is created in witchcraft, shall be as when Yahweh, through his son Yahushai, overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So when Yahweh sends Yahushai this time, Just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the other cities were destroyed by fire coming down from heaven, the same thing is going to happen to America, Babylon the great whore, which is also known as spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom. And it's going to turn this place into a lake of fire. And even the 2/3 of our people, the reprobates of our people that reject Yahushua and receive that implantable microchip, they're going to die here in that lake of fire. All right? And it's going to turn into a lake of fire, then a desert where desert creatures will dwell here, and no man will ever inhabit this land. It will be a monument to Yahweh's righteous judgment when he sent his son Yahushua back to judge the world, and he punished the wicked with that eternal fire, which is in those nuclear missiles enriched uranium, and it's going to melt their kingdom and shake the earth, and the heathen will be enslaved under the Israelites, which they're going to have to pay us back for everything that they took from us. All right? And then the Edomites are going to be made extinct. All right? Extinction is the future for the so-called white race according to biblical prophecy. Isaiah 14:21. Prepare them for slaughter. We're telling you the truth, and that's why you want to slaughter us. You want to butcher us, as it says in Ezekiel 35, though Yahushua already paid for the wage of our sin. So you have how to pay, you red devils, you Edomites. And this is why Yahweh and his son Yahushua and the hopeful elect have a righteous indignation against you. For you are the wicked, and you do wickedly, and you're going to receive evil for all your ill dealings. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, wa abal babal.